Hello, my souls, and welcome back to Alice Fallen, Rain of Sand. By the way, for those who haven't noticed, there's been a grumpy individual on top of Azzy's noggin for the last couple streams now. That's name pending. I'm not gonna do that again. I have icy hot on my hands. I'm not gonna do that again. Also, hello Johnson, hello Jackie, hello Aiden, hello Andy. Oh, whoa. So, this game has got me thinking a lot. And I kind of want to have a discussion. Because this particular game has had me, in the last couple streams, thinking on the concept of, is it better to reign in hell than serve in heaven? God damn it, Aiden! Nom nom. But yeah, no, this game has had me thinking quite a bit about whether or not, like, to be quite honest, it's got me wondering, like, would it be worth it? If heaven was real, would it be worth it to be the kind of fucked up that the temple in this game is, just to get there? Like, would you be willing to, like, serve an all-powerful, cruel, and heartless god, and be as cruel and heartless as them if it meant eternal bliss? Sorry, the way I see that is, you gained what you are getting at in the afterlife by subjugating others. That's wrong. Like, profiting off of any other person by force is wrong. But then again, I also have to think by this world's logic. And realistically, the logic in this world so far is one god usurped the other and took over and forced their will upon the world, which is now effectively mankind using said faith to enslave mankind. I have a strange feeling that it's going to turn out that the Wraiths are a creation of the god that usurped the god of chaos. And I have this strange feeling that Talos, or whatever his name is, not only created the Wraiths, but locked the god of chaos away because he believed too much in a, quote, inferior species. But, with that mentioned, and hellos said, also I'm the Jackie face. Let's get into this. Nile is supposedly the god of chaos. The creature inside the gauntlet, yeah. The one who gave magic and essence to humanity, believing they were, you know, something better than what the other god believed them to be. Effectively saying, yes, while there might be some that abuse it, the overall would be better for having this power and being able to, like, stand on their own, rather than be forced to bow to the will of gods. So one believes in freedom, one believes in freedom and, like, true equality, which I gotta point out, true equality can be cruel sometimes. It really can. Because, let's put it this way. For centuries in human civilizations, we've had the rule of, you know, men should never hurt women, men should never hit women. So much so that there's now a issue of sometimes women will beat the shit out of men and not be punished for it. True equality? Man or woman doesn't matter. You lay a finger on the other person, you're the criminal. So while, yeah, it would be we look down on hitting a woman, we should also look down just as hard on the woman hitting the man. That would be true equality. In a lot of cases, that can seem cruel because a lot of people aren't going to want to imprison a woman because there's an idea that, you know, men are stronger, therefore they should be able to take it. And all I can say is, anybody who believes that either one should be, like, above or below in any way than the other is a dumbass. For the record, I believe in true equality. I'm very much an egalitarian. So, realistically, I'm with Niall. I believe that humanity should not be subject to gods, but rather, if any creature exists, we should not rule over them or serve under them, but rather see them as our equals. Oh, and by the way, for those who are wondering, just because I know it's a question that will eventually come up, true egalitarian, which also means, I believe to some degree, the same, where, you know, people are concerned, as well as, like, I believe that everything should have the same right to life, for example. What you wouldn't do to an animal, you shouldn't do to a person. So, I've met so many people that would sit there and justify, you know, beating the shit out of an animal because they're just an animal, they're not human. As if that meant anything. Like, if you are alive, you deserve some respect, you know? You got an unskippable mudslinging ad. I'm assuming political? Yeah, by the way, I've redone the we're not allowed to run political ads on here, and YouTube effectively sent me a thing. No, well, not sent me a thing, but YouTube has effectively said fuck you on that, so be warned, you're gonna very much be seeing political ads on my shit from here on out, apparently, because our fucking YouTube overlords, in their infinite wisdom, have decided that you're not allowed to opt out anymore on AdSense on, you know, anything. Oh, why aren't you letting me target the fucking closest goddamn enemy, you stupid fucking game? Wait, did none of my healing button presses activate? Yeah, fuck. Well, I mean, yes and no, because that's technically a loaded statement, because there are just as many people who have that belief who don't turn out to be serial killers. It's kind of like saying, you know, Yeah, I hit it twice, and apparently it didn't register either time, which is fucking amazing. You're kidding me, yeah?
That beam. It is healing the other wraiths. We cannot allow this.
Cool, it's choosing to retarget away from the healer. By force. Fuck your bullshit, game. Fucking die. Cool, so 100% those enemies are invulnerable to that attack type because, once again, I hit it full force with a attack that should have killed it instantly. Like, you know, the break attack or whatever the fuck they call it? The, like, super attack that if the health bar is glowing, it should insta-kill. I hit it with that when the bar was glowing. It didn't do any damage at all. Again. Oh. Anyways. Oh. Huh. Oh.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can, but apparently you couldn't hear me.
How are you doing?
Pretty good.
I just had dinner.
But, yeah, no. One of the main things, though, that I need to point out in the whole idea of the topic for the night, better to reign in heaven, or reign in hell and serve in heaven. First of all, how many of you actually know where that quote is, well, where that quote is from, and Burb, don't just blurt it out.
I was gonna say I'm not gonna answer that question.
Like, does anyone here know where that quote comes from? Because that's actually a quote. You'll never guess who I'm quoting, and I'd guarantee if anybody knows it, they're gonna find it funny that I'm quoting who I'm quoting. Hey, Heather. Oh. Hey, Johnson.
The finest imported wares, the most...
By the way, Jackie,
This is the upper city. Do not
it's
loiter
still showing
here.
you as
Rather,
offline.
Leave.
So, like... Here's the thing. Welcome back.
Oh, you're letting me win, aren't you?
Hey,
Hey,
Jackie, are you there?
Hey, sorry, I had to plug in my headset. I'm getting it right now.
No worries. By the way, do you know where that quote comes from?
Put more
There we
into
go,
it.
and I'm gonna pull up the stream. I wasn't ready to join yet.
Ah. Do you know where the quote though comes from? The phrase "It's better it's better to reign in hell than serve in heaven."
No, I don't.
I was speaking to Han Driller the other morning, in hushed
Hold on.
tones, of course,
Dialogue,
about our
nobody
beloved
in-
queen. He agreed with me that she was far more...
So, dialogue. If you guys haven't mentioned it in chat, I'll explain after dialogue is done.
He agreed with me that she was
Would
far
you like me to
more
answer, though, if
active
no
in
one
the
else
old
answers?
days.
No.
Leading the troops into battle, that
I
sort
already
of
know
thing.
you know what it is.
But neither of us have ever seen her. Not once. And we've looked. She rarely even leaves the palace. Han Driller swears he saw her at a window once, but the poor fool was probably gurning at a handmaid. Is she getting old, I wonder? Did Thelos take back
Thelos,
their
that's the god's name.
gift? Time will tell.
So, does anybody in chat know where it comes from? Give you a couple more seconds. No. So here's going to be a weird statement because it's going to be one of those things that most people usually wouldn't expect coming from me. But that phrase specifically comes from Lucifer. Very specifically, it is a line in the book Paradise Lost that is supposed to be a effectively a play-by-play of the squabble between Lucifer and well, his creator Yahweh. With the or from the perspective of the devil.
Oh, before I forget, someone asked me what I had for dinner. I had a meatball sub.
Ooh, yum.
Yeah.
My mate loves getting those from Subway.
Oh, Firehouse subs is better.
All I can say is leave it to a gay goat to want meatballs.
He'll eat anything.
Precisely.
Also, okay, would you like to know what my answer would have been?
Yeah, what?
Milton, the guy who wrote Paradise Lost.
I wouldn't quote Milton with that specifically because, understand, it is from the perspective of the character he was portraying, which at the point was the biblical Lucifer.
No, the only reason I know this is because of Star Trek.
Yeah.
Only reason I know who Milton is because in Photoshop class we're photoshopping a bust of him.
Cool. If you ever get the chance, go and read Paradise Lost. It's a really fucked up book. It's a really good book, but it's a really fucked up book.
Oh, you know what? What's really funny?
Hmm.
One of the books in my high school library was A Clockwork Orange.
Oh God,
1, 2.
that's actually considered to be a banned book now. You know that, right?
Oh. What do you mean?
Culturally, in the U.S., books like that, as well as Paradise Lost and fucking 1987, are considered to be banned books.
1984, kid.
1984. Thank you. You know I'm bad with numbers and names.
Oh, no. Those were all the books in my private school. They didn't have to obey it, but private schools, they can do things a little differently.
I'm well aware. So did private schools back in the day, because even though they were technically banned books, we still read them. They weren't banned by the school. They were banned by the fucking state. Remember, I live in Cali. They were banned by the state.
You couldn't get them at bookstores or anything?
No, you could not legally buy them in California for a long-ass time. Like, understand, the fact that I had, at one point, a physical copy of Paradise Lost could have gotten me arrested as a kid. Do you know why?
Why?
The belief that it could weaponize children if read by anyone under a certain age. Because, understand, Paradise Lost is the struggle between God and the devil from the devil's perspective. And understand, the devil's perspective, it's a fucked up one. It's... Yes, it is to some degree hateful. It's easy to understand from their perspective, but at the same time, they're also effectively a child forced into a role they never wanted, rebelling against an almighty power that can and does swat away their rebellion like a fucking hand to a fly. They know they are damned to never be able to win in said struggle, but because of the fact that the person they are struggling against so wholeheartedly is willing to harm them to prove a point, they don't want to serve under that. It's a very weird... It's effectively, in a nutshell, the squabble between a father and son, from the son's perspective, and the son straight up believes his father hates him. Bear in mind, his father gives him no reason to think otherwise, but... It's one of those... I hate to say it this way, but it's one of those books that will actually get you to sympathize with the devil. And it's hilarious in the way it does it.
You just reminded me of all the books that I read in high school.
Oh, there's so many more that I read on my own that were considered to be illegal at the time. Like,
No, like,
understand, owning them technically could not get you, like, arrested? If you were, like, reading them in public, it could get you arrested. But, like, owning them couldn't. Bear in mind, with that knowledge, I did, however, have a book that just owning it could get you arrested. Take a wild guess what that was.
Necronomicon?
No. The Necronomicon is technically a real book. It's not what you think it is, though.
it's just a collection of H.P. Lovecraft, if I'm not mistaken.
Pretty much, yeah.
I was gonna say the Kama Sutra.
Nope. Kama Sutra's actually encouraged in California. Like, it's reading at the age... Understand, it's the book I read in junior high. It was in the fucking library at my junior high. I got branded the weird kid for reading it, but it was in our fucking library.
What book?
The Kama Sutra. effectively the end-all guide to what is considered to be the perfect form of sex. It is effectively a how-to light for something called tantric intercourse, or tantric sex. Which, bear in mind, tantric is effectively a fuck session that lasts for 7 hours.
Oh, I know what book you're talking about, Aiden. Is it the one that Aiden mentioned?
That,
Yeah, it's the one you're thinking of, Aiden. And what you're thinking of is The Anarchist's Cookbook. I actually had a physical copy when I was in junior high. For those who don't know, that's straight up illegal in a lot of places in the US, or at least was in the 90s and 2000s. The reason being is because it's a 100% factual printing of how to do things like make bombs, or guns, or things like thermite, or pretty much anything that could be used to, quote, overthrow a government. That's the reason it was banned. It's technically illegal. Like, the original version is illegal. Mine was not technically the original version.
Hey, Kit.
What's up?
One of the books we read in school was Catch-22.
Was what?
Catch-22.
Catch-22. Don't think I've read.
It's the one where it's a satire about one of the satires about war. Where we also got to see the movie at school.
Huh.
The
I'll have to
principal
look
case
into it
is
if it's a, I'll have to look into it.
It's literally everything. It's like, it's a really good book. We also read Slaughterhouse 5 as well, and Fahrenheit 451.
There we go. By the way, for those who don't know, the actual title of the Anarchist Cookbook isn't actually the Anarchist Cookbook. The, quote, real version is just a copy of something called, I think, Hal's Guide to Everything. It's a little pocketbook you can get in any hardware store just about. How you make it is effectively take that book and then cut out every page except for the ones on how to make various explosives. That's the original version of it. Understand, though, the full copy of Hal's Guide to Hal's Guide to Everything also has information on things like how to assist a bovine in birthing a calf, how to treat a sucking chest wound with nothing but your thumb and a little bit of gauze, how to prolong the life of somebody who is bleeding to death and the bleeding cannot be immediately stopped. Information on how to do transfusions from one person to another with something as minor as a piece of copper wire, a straw, and a coconut. It's effectively MacGyver's guide. Like, I shit you not, one of the first 5 pages is a guide on how to properly contain blood in a severed limb well enough for it to be reattached surgically and still work properly. The idea for it was because, well, what happens if you're sawing something on a, at the point it was written, a new bench saw, and accidentally cut off your thumb? You want to be able to reattach that thing, yeah? And still have it work. So, there are certain things you have to do. Like, for example, if you don't put it on ice, 5 minutes, you're gone. 5 minutes, you won't have full... Like, 5 minutes with a desanguinated thumb. That thumb will never work properly.
Hey, Kit, you just reminded me of something that I thought I forgot about.
What's up?
My grandfather was chopping down tree limbs and cut off 3 of his own fingers by accident. No. He was able to get himself to the hospital and save all 3 of the fingers.
Yeah. I mean, understand, in that guide, one of the lines in the what to do if you've severed a limb is, if by happenstance this occurs in a snowy environment, pack the severed article in snow where it would be bleeding from. Ensure that the open wound is pointed skyward at all times.
No, my sister has a phobia of blood at this point because of that.
Well, no shit. I'm assuming she witnessed it.
No, she was dragged into the car to keep him talking to him so he didn't pass out from blood loss.
Yep, that'd do it. Anyways, uno momento.
I was at summer
Hello
school,
there.
so I got
Can
spared
I
from all of it.
help you?
Uno
I
momento.
heard someone stole from one of the vendors recently. A box of apples and some other belongings.
No, I'm sorry. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to.
You seem nervous.
Oh, right, it was me. I didn't mean to cause trouble. I needed to eat. And that vendor, he's constantly throwing decent food in the gutter. I just beat him to it. Now, listen to me. I got this treasure map. I'll give it to you. Here, you can have it. But please, don't sell me out to him.
Why would I listen to a thief?
I'm a common unnamed, just like you. I'm just trying to get by.
I will think about it.
You and I are nothing alike, man.
Anyone will be punished who interrupts the essence blessing.
So, that's another thing that, like, drives me nuts, is the fallacy of,
1, 2,
we're just
3.
like each other, where I would not steal, like, willingly, unless there was no other choice. Cool, you want to eat. You are so desperate to eat. Why did you steal 10 apples, and why so far have 8 of them been on the ground? Why did you steal more than just the food? Hey, Sky. Oh, woo. Long time no see. I'm assuming you've been, on the streams before, although you might need to remind me of who you are. I don't have the greatest memory in the world.
Why do they put up a shrine in the middle of that pretty plaza?
In fact, I'd say I have what is furthest from the best memory in the world.
Of the Empire and voice of Thelos.
This fruit is most delicious. What is it?
An apple sprinkled with essence dust.
Sounds expensive.
Oh, please.
So, sprinkled with essence dust. So they're actively eating what is effectively magic. Cool, that's not what is intended when something like that is brought to the world.
What is brought to the world?
So, in this world, essence... I think it was Xbox? Oh. I mean, you'd have to remind me, like, where did we meet? What game? But, regardless, though, I mean, regardless if I can remember where I met you, it's good to meet you. Yeah, it's good to see you again. My brain is also not working very well right now because I am high as a kite. But yeah, no. As I was saying, there is a disconnect. It's one of the things I don't like. Actually, where was I?
Them sprinkling something on their food.
Oh, no, that was another one off of a different topic. But no, that is in and of itself another thing. Essence in this game is powerful enough that even a few grains of sand's worth of essence can change a man's life. Like, it can be used to heal grievous wounds. It can be... It's condensed magic. So, to eat an apple with powdered essence sprinkled on it, you are effectively eating the power that could save a man's life who is dying, and you're using it as a lavish meal.
And this guy stole that, right?
Oh. No, it's just... It's not stolen, it's just opulence. It's the level of opulence that bugs me. Because you are adding this to a food to give it a desired effect. I get that. It's no different than you added gold to your food. I can understand, it's like a prestige thing if you're sitting there eating a fucking steak wrapped in gold. But at the same time, that's gonna cost you a couple grand. That money could be used somewhere else to make someone else's life better. And you're throwing it at something that is petty. I don't mind that. If you want to treat yourself, go for it. Money is money. That's a thing. In this case, though, money is one thing. Essence is not meant to be a fucking aphrodisiac or a, like, designer drug. It's meant to be used for the sake of people. The intention Niall had when he gave it to the world was to give people more freedom, effectively to raise them up and make them better. Instead, you've got people sitting here watching,
Why do they put up a
by the
shrine
thousands
in the middle
others
of our pretty
die,
plaza?
and in turn sitting in their walled-off city eating the essence that could be used to... It could have been used to save
for the enlightened at daybreak.
That's annoying. Especially in this kind of world, because this kind of world, there are so many problems with the way this world is set up. Even if you take away common or current morality from this world, there's still so many things that are so broken. Like, for example, a church and an all-seeing, all-present God effectively being able to dictate who is and is not allowed to have a name. Oh. Say you want to create a slave class without saying you want to create a slave class, right? Or, you know, people who are forced or not forced to, but study their whole lives to be, you know, better people than being imprisoned for trying to... SOT. God, that was a while ago. Yeah, no, like I said, God, that was a while ago. It's been a couple years since I've played. Well, I mean, it's good to see you again, man. Oh. By the way, sorry about the, you know, rant or whatever you want to call this that I've been doing here. It's just, I'm kind of ranting about the broken state of this world. And, like, it drives me batshit crazy sometimes. The things that people will do to justify certain things. Like, best example I can give here is, again, the concept of, this world's hierarchy. Because you've got the chosen by God, who effectively are allowed to do whatever they want, no laws apply to them. Then you have the common man, who has a name. If they are pious, they're allowed to retain their name. If they are devoted, they are allowed to retain their name. Beneath them is a slave class, who everything has been stripped. They're not allowed to own anything whatsoever, even down to the clothes they wear, and aren't even allowed to have a name, who are looked down upon by all of society. And the worst part is, it's not even the common man that's allowed to dictate who is and isn't allowed to have a name. It's brought down to a exclusive chosen few class who are so far above the law that they could sit there and probably destroy an entire country and not have anything bad happen to the retaliation. Like, this is a system in which if somebody demands your firstborn, if you are anything below them in station and refuse, they have the right to kill you. And yes, I say it as a right, not a privilege, because that's what this society sees it as. It is a right of those who are better than. Drives me kind of nuts.
You just made me think of something interesting, Kit.
What's that?
What would life be as a Dungeons and Dragons character?
Horrifying. Because you have so many different cultures that are absolutely crazy.
Get back to work
The
now,
logistics
underwater.
alone of
No
a
breaks now.
world like that are nuts. You could not actually live the way you live in our world in any way, shape, or
All my old
Think
neighbors
about this
avoid
way.
me now. and the
Most people
guards
would be
really
considered nuts
dislike
for
it
trying
in
to
the
be
lower city.
adventurers.
Huh?
Being an adventure, a low-level adventurer is pretty much just like, oh, good luck, you're not going to survive.
That's kind of the point. That's what adventuring kind of is. It is a danger taken on by those who are willing to take it on.
2, 3.
Level in those games isn't like, this is hard work and dedication. No, it's also a measure of experience. It's a measure of how often did you put yourself in a situation where you could die and survive. The and survive part being, you know, the main point of that.
This is why I like support casters.
That's kind of why I play support casters pretty much, you know, religiously. But, again, where was I?
Will be punished who interrupts the essence blessing.
Because now I have no idea where I was, like, what I was saying.
The last thing you said was about the newborn child and them having to if someone asks them for one theirs.
Oh yeah, it's a
Not disturb the enlightened and the fire.
right by divinity style world. And anything by divine right, you're gonna run into the same problems that you found in, like, the Dark Ages, where those who believed they could rule over mankind by divine right did horrible things to people
Another anvil is close.
for nothing better than, you know, I have the right to do this because God says so. And lo and behold, the majority of the people that had that mindset were terrible people.
That brings up a secondary question. In the Dungeons and Dragons world, what is a how do people look at like max level as like a level 20 adventure?
Level 20 adventure? Here's a question. So,
The lower part of the city doesn't have the best.
if you were in the same room as a UFC fighter who could probably crush your skull between their fingertips, what would you think? Because that's kind of what you're talking about. You're talking about somebody who has put themselves in situations where they could have lost their life countless times and have survived through sheer determination or through their training. that can be matched up to common day, or not common day, current day, a UFC fighter. They put their life on the line, technically, because, understand, in any martial arts tournament, in any fighting tournament, one wrong blow, one hit taken the wrong way, one moment of you were too relaxed when something connected, could be the difference between life and death.
I hope my friends are okay. I hope becoming a god.
Because
I
I
feel like
had
it
a
would be more fitting to say something. Sorry.
It's the
Because
same
I had a-
as, like, a fucking seasoned veteran, a soldier, or
High priest
anyone who is specialized in something.
It's so nice and quiet when the city is under lockdown.
the way I'm asking specifically for like a healer, like a max level healer. How would they be viewed by people?
Well, how would you... Okay, so here's a thought. There is somebody who has dedicated their life so wholly to helping others that a god has taken notice, allowed them power to bend flesh, knit bone, and even bring back the dead as they see fit. Cool. Take out the religious aspect. What is that? Think world-renowned doctor. Yeah?
Yes.
How would you view a world-renowned doctor who saved countless lives? Who's gone out of their way to help people? Who's gone so far as to go to third world countries just to make the lives of people better for no other reason than I have the knowledge to do so? There is no difference. A max level character would be somebody who has dedicated their life to something. Same thing could be said of, what would you do if you were in a room with somebody like Putin, who can literally hurl a fireball at you if you disagree with them? Now you see why I say you couldn't live... Yes! Imagine Putin with the ability to, let's say, fucking summon magical armor, throw a fireball at you, or literally just say a word and blow your skull the fuck apart. Who can summon storms of flame to wipe out entire countries if he sees fit. Imagine somebody like Putin with that mentality. Now, do you want to know the really sad part? Think of somebody like Putin with that mentality. Somebody who wields the power of power of any military organization like the Spetsnaz or the KGB, who has historically killed or had killed the people that, you know, disagree with him or go against him, and who wields effectively with no checks or balances to keep them from using it other than the world around them, the ability to glass an entire country. It's not much different, but at the same time, it is, because the terrifying part there is, it takes more than one person to launch a nuke. It would only take one fucking caster in the D&D world to launch a fireball. Or do a 10-minute ritual that leads to the utter destruction of an entire country. Like, in a world like that, literally everything is politics from day one. Reason being is because every person is theoretically capable of becoming so powerful they can handle the world.
When the city is under lockdown.
A good example, same concept. Let's say you've got a max level, level 20 warlock. What is stopping that person from bringing down the wrath of their fucking chosen deity upon anyone who disagrees with them, knowing full and well that the only thing that could come after them is a town guard, which might to a common man be dangerous, but to somebody like that, you can kill thousands of these people with a word. In a world like that, how often do you think somebody's gonna sling an insult for no reason? Like, could you imagine what would happen in the D&D world if somebody mouthed off and called somebody a cunt in a bar? And there was a level 20 in the bar that took offense. There is nobody else in that bar other than level 20 that would be able to stop that level 20 from skinning a man alive with the power of magic. So, realistically, living in a D&D world, you're living in a world that is governed by fear.
I meant as a dude, as like an adventurer.
As an adventurer, you're in a world that's 100% driven by fear. The fear of, will the next thing I encounter be my death? The fear of, will that person say something, or will they challenge me to something and then be so much more powerful than me that they could end my entire family line with a whisper.
Why do they put up a shrine in the middle of our pretty plaza?
Or maybe I just pissed off a god by bad-mouthing that dude over there. How they...
This is the upper city.
There would be some good things to it, there would be some bad things to it, but it would be one of those... full idea, nobody would be able to live the way they could in our world, in a world like that. Because chances are, you'd be a dick, mouth off, say something that, you know, freedom of speech. Yeah, your freedom of speech just got your head blown clean off.
Out of my way, filthy unnamed! Look at this reward. They're still searching for Bastingar. We should explore the wildlands some more.
It's kind of like the concept of why wouldn't a criminal want to commit crimes in a community in which everyone is armed and everyone is legally allowed to shoot you or any crime. Like, who would ever be willing to do that?
Because the one level 20 character I had was in Wrath of the Righteous. They were level 20 plus.
Cool. I still say any character like that would be entertaining to see, but at the same time, they'd be only beholden to those of their level, which is a terrifying concept. Because with that same idea, you're in an area where a dude, you know, hit high level, he decides to take over, and he's a royal cunt who eats people. Literally eats people. That would be a possible reality in that world. Like, think of the amount of anxiety by not just adventurers, but just by normal people. Hearing, hey, there's like a pack of fucking 12 level 15 adventurers in town. Why? They're going after some kind of rogue god! And you're just going out to, like, think about what any NPC would,
Anyone will
like, in
be
that
punished
situation.
who interrupts the Essence blessing.
No. The way my character operated was like, he was the healer, so like, he didn't if you couldn't afford healing, he'd go out and heal people.
Yeah, so Hippocratic Oath in a setting that actually doesn't require you take it is one hindrance because you have to live. Like, you have to have options for living, for paying for yourself, for taking care of yourself.
The upper city.
No, like, the way, no, like, he often, like, got, like, free room and board wherever he went.
Yes, but that would only be, that's, the whole point is that would mean you're living off the kindness of others, kind of like what I do to an extent.
Ruler of the Empire and voice of Thelos.
Like, he had a comfortable amount of, he had money in reserve. It's like, he did it because that was his god's calling.
Yeah, and that's, that's benevolence. You do realize that character would be a rare thing in that world. The reason you would get so much attention, get so many free gifts, room and board, why people be fawning over you just because, isn't necessarily because you're selfless. It's because you help them. They want more people like you in the world. Strictly because there are people in a world like that that would take,
We should ask the guards to put a
like, they would take advantage of others using similar power.
expects applicants for the enlightened at daybreak.
So, yeah, being nice is its own reward in that sense, but at the same time, that would be a very rare thing in a world where if you could literally kill a man and take all his shit, pawn it the next day, and nobody would care. Murder would skyrocket. The proof of this is just in how many fucking people there are that have hellish stories about murder hobos.
My brother likes to murder hobo.
In D&D?
Well, yeah, in D&D. Do you think I met in real life?
Now you never know.
Oh, I can't stand murder hoboing.
See, that's the problem. A murder hobo wouldn't be able to stand you. That's the difference of opinion on both parts. But the D&D world has effectively always been a world of might makes. I'm looking for a fucking one more fucking apple!
I like how we're having a philosophical conversation while you're struggling to find an apple.
I can't find this! I've been looking for this apple for nearly a fucking hour! Jesus fuck nuggets!
The enlightened and the spire. The essence.
This guy really lost his apple. Like, actively tried to lose his apple.
This is 100% one of those 1 of 10 quests where the 10th one is going to be in such a obviously stupid place that no one would ever look there. Like, it's probably going to be something that you need to talk to a random beggar to fucking obtain, because it's in their inventory and not in the open.
And try that.
Jackie, the problem with that is, if that is the requirement, then, oh well, that's the last thing anyone would ever do. I'm not going to take the absurdist method and run with it.
Idols, essence stones, our collection grows. I am now curious to try out different combinations.
The big reason being, I hate absurdism. Like, I really hate absurdism as a concept. And if that is the fucking answer, I'm gonna be beyond pissed. By the way, the other reason is because there's about 19 beggars in this one area.
Ah, the whispers are true. You are roaming the city.
I know. I've already encountered your little circle.
Then you know we can provide you with information. Well?
What's been happening recently?
A family of nobles was duped into buying tickets to the Essence ritual. Someone made off with a fortune.
I'm gonna go try and call
I don't
him.
need anything right now.
Alright. Oh,
Night, night,
nah, Jackie.
Hey, Nicky is
Also,
waving goodbye.
face. Nom, nom.
Night, everybody.
Oh, you're letting me win, aren't you?
Wrong out. Hold on.
Wrong out?
No, I said wrong app.
Oh, wrong app. I thought for a second you caught yourself and were, like, about to do an outro or something.
Oof.
I mean, no worries, it would have been adorable, but still. It's just one of those things that would be an obvious oof.
Next time, this is Jackie Burst saying ooh woo, signing off.
Sure, people.
But no, I'd like to play 3.5 campaign with you in it one day, Kit.
You have to
Possibly.
show authority in every bit of your appearance.
Because I already have my character idea down already.
I mean, if I were to get back in, I'd have to decide what character to
I
play,
can't
'cause I've got
believe I used to
thousands
live in
I could.
that alley.
The only problem is, it's not been, like, it's not been disproven to me that V5 isn't fucking 100% baby's first power trip.
Oh, 5.5 is even worse.
That's one of the reasons why I, for the longest time, stated, I don't care enough that I'm willing to play this version of this game. You do realize the only reason that I gave it another shot, you have mentioned it and wanting to play it with me, Avi has mentioned wanting to play it with me, multiple other people have mentioned wanting to either run a fucking V5 with me, or with me there, or, you know, have me run it for them. But at the same
I
time,
would play D&D with you. I never said V5.
I'm aware. No, actually, you did. Because, yes, you did. Specifically, you tried to talk me into, you know, playing a V5 a couple months before before BLFC. Like, I do remember this. It was also because it was, I can easily remind you which conversation it was, because my entire thought process on it was, it is a game where Paladin is effectively unkillable and fucking Rogue is meaningless. Entirely because it is Baby's first power trip, and there is no actual need for a Rogue, because anything with any casting ability, anything with any ability to gain a feat, which literally means any class, can suddenly take on the fucking task of a Rogue. So you can have a Paladin that, because of a single feat, is a fucking Master Rogue, whereas the entire class of Rogue is effectively, you know, boiled down to a singular feat. The same can be said of any caster class, because they have specializations that give you level 1 to multi-class as a feat rather than actual multi-classing. It's Baby's first power trip.
I think I was saying it just because it was just so we could point and make fun of it together.
Well, no, the reason you wanted to was because I had mentioned to you that the LFC that year was based around what is essentially a V5 game system.
And I actually was honestly, I actually want to see your genuine reaction to it, because
yeah, I stand by the belief that it is a dumbed down version of a game meant to pander to the lowest common denominator in the game's community. It's people that don't want to have to put any effort into being effectively a god.
This is the
and honestly, I do not disagree with you.
It's one of the reasons I dislike it in its entirety, is because you've got everyone effectively wielding the power of a god. Golden, I have to do things that I don't like doing, or I have to do things that I would consider immoral as a person, strictly because some other dumbass is wielding the power of a god and doing shit like, fucking attempting to use charm to rape someone. And yes, I've been in fucking V5 things where that's an option, like, that somebody brings up. I've literally been in a D&D campaign where the bard attempted to charm somebody who he couldn't, you know, convince to sleep with him, and then tried to give them the command to sleep with him. It's just, you're giving it. It's V1 syndrome all over again, in the sense that it encourages you to be a power playing cunt. Like, because, understand, in V5, past level 4, no normal person could ever stand in your way if you wanted to do something. So 100%, past the level 4, there is no way in hell that anyone could ever stop you from doing something. Unless they were above your level, which 99% of NPCs don't go past level 3. It's a game where by level fucking 10, halfway to max level, effectively, you are capable of literally destroying entire continents with, like, 5 minutes and a couple words.
To where the game, no, at that point the game doesn't even bother. It's like, yeah, we don't even know what to throw at you anymore.
Yeah. Like, understand, by level 15, you are so powerful you can technically, theoretically, solo the most powerful enemy in the game, i.e. a god. What does that tell you?
The fact that the last enemy they made, they had to make broken on purpose just to make a challenge.
Well, no, that's the problem. It doesn't make a challenge. The reason I like V3.5 or V3 was entirely because it gave you the difficulty of V, like, 1 and 2, where it is, you have to struggle to survive. You are not godly from day one. You do not get things like fucking command flame as a cantrip.
I hope becoming a god was the right choice.
In fact, I believe in V2, 1 and 2, there was no such thing effectively as a cantrip. Meaning, you fucking had to use spell slots. Either that or you were a sorcerer that just straight up doesn't need them. No in between. Oh my god. I'm looking this up because this is fucking daft. This is straight up bullshit. Where the fuck? Uno momento. You know, I'm gonna let you entertain them for a moment because I also need to pee. I'm just gonna stand here.
No, while you go, no, actually, while you do that, I'll look it up for you. I'm trying to help, Kit. Oh my freaking god. Hi everyone, I just found the answer, and he's not gonna like it. I have no idea what to talk about. So how is everyone in Chatland doing? That's... Man, I don't know what to talk about. And my brain is not braining. Hey, Kit, I found the answer. Yes. You have to travel to another map and then return.
Why is that?
The
Let me
final
guess.
rare apple will appear in the location where you found the sketchy thief. In order to get to Fear, you need to travel to another map. When you return, the thief will be gone and the final rare apple will be in his place.
Oh, god damn it, it's one of those. Go fuck yourself, game. Like, 100% go fuck yourself with a lead cactus.
Thank you, Ramon. As soon as you left, I found it, and I knew you weren't gonna like the answer.
I mean, it's fucking bullshit. Like, not bullshit. It's pedantic.
On another note, I got a new webcam today.
Well, yay.
Why is Aiden nomming on my beak?
Welcome to the world of retarded mechanics.
Oh. Hey, kid, I have some news for you.
What?
You remember Concord?
Yes, I'm aware. It failed. It's a failure of a game. There are hundreds to thousands of copies that have not been sold. And it has lost its fucking publisher effectively $40 million. Or is it 400 million?
It's gotten up to 400 million.
Yeah. Understand? I can understand, like, wanting cultural things to be a thing when it's forced at the like, if you force, like, the only way to really explain it, thanks by the way for bringing up this topic, is DEI. If you force something like that into a game, nobody's gonna like it, especially if you force it into the game at the cost of the game's actual look. So when you release a game that looks like dog shit and that could have come out like 4 console generations ago, and release it that way for the sake of, we didn't have enough time, so we prioritized the method rather than the game. I don't think you understand. Games are not meant to be political like that. I'm not surprised when a game like that fucking fails. Now understand that same concept. I don't mind the idea of cultural relevance being a thing in gaming. Don't force it. Sable is a good example of, this is what it means to learn about another culture. Concord is, we tried to make a woke version of COD and it failed. Oopsies! It's your fault, not ours! Like, I shit you not, the message from Concord is 100%. If you didn't buy our game, you're racist. It doesn't matter that the game was shit fucking poor, or that it has so many problems with it that, you know, the majority of the gaming community shuns it. Now it's just the fault of everyone who had no hand in making it, for not paying for it, because it was a cultural thing. Also, I still say I kind of want to at some point buy a copy of some of these like hyper politicized games just to showcase them and just to fucking sit there and explain from my perspective why shit like this isn't.
And also, it's confusing that they took 8 years to make Concord.
No shit, but do understand, it's not surprising that they took that long to make a game that's that shit. It's because they were hyper-politicizing everything, and understand, when you get into that realm, if everything's not perfect, you're gonna get cancelled! So yeah, it took them 8 years to come out with a piece of shit. All because of the bullshit arbitrary rules that people, like, say, woke as fuck gamers try to put on everything. Meanwhile, there's a game out there that was and still is, the developer is 100% not okay with the whole DEI thing, pretty much wanted to create something that had a specific message and is getting shat on by people who don't play his game because it's apparently not diverse enough. Ever heard of Soul Ash?
Oh yeah, I heard that controversy. Or the non-controversy, I should say.
The controversy is 100% a bunch of woke fuckers don't like the fact that there's no gay marriage in the game, even though marriage as a whole wasn't added to the game until, like, a month before this became an issue and nobody bitched about the game. But now that there's marriage, well, equality is the thing! They put marriage in the game as an afterthought. You also have to take into account the rules of the world it's built in, or the message being driven by the game. Does the message have anything to do with, you know, gay marriage? It's a dystopian nightmare setting? So no. It's a hard as fuck game, so no. Is there any, like, forethought put into, well, maybe there should be gay characters? No, because there shouldn't be. And I would defend this exact same game for the same reason I defended Kingdom Come Deliverance when people were bitching that there weren't enough white people, or not white people, black people, in a game that was set in 800 and I think it was 862 Czechoslovakia. A country that until far, and a region that until far in the future, the only people of color in the region were the guys that were rampaging through the region, murdering people by the thousands and destroying towns.
Hey, Kit.
Yes?
When we get back to finding that apple.
Yes, after I have made my point.
I am sorry.
Thank you.
I didn't mean to distract you for this long.
Yeah, it's a thing. Simply put, anyone, and Burb, I need to point out, whether it was intended or not, if you bring up something that is, like, on that topic around me, you know better. 100% you know this would happen. It is not a... apologize. In fact, apologizing at this point, with how well you know me, is more of a... I know it might not have been intended. 100% you know well enough that this was going to happen when you bring up a game like Concord. Because, understand, I am very passionate about my gaming. I am very passionate about the storyline being told. I am very passionate about gaming because storyline is an important thing. When you sacrifice storyline for the sake of woke politics, it becomes annoying. Now, I would praise a game like, say, Kingdom Come Deliverance for portraying the story they intended to tell without trying to pander and make people comfortable who aren't willing to hear the story in the first place. Meanwhile, you've got companies like the ones that create Concord, who are the exact opposite. They don't care about the story, only the fact that, hey, there's people in it who aren't white. To me, that just reeks of racism. And you know me, I don't like racists. Then again, anything of that, you know, thought. Like any that...
Can't you go a bit
I can't function and I can't speak and play at the same time. So, welcome to Kit's Rant Hour. So, where was I? What's up?
I was just trying to I was just trying to laugh at Sony. I didn't need this entire rant to appear.
I'm aware, but understand. You brought up a topic and a game that is currently being panned for the fact that it was a failure as a game entirely because the people who made it focused entirely on the races of the characters, the sexuality of the characters, who's fucking who in the game, and the dialogue between them, and they prioritized everything except the fucking game. That is the current discussion in the gaming sphere. Is, why is this a bad game? Why is it failing? Entirely because the people who made it are racist. Because I'm sorry, when you try to pander to, this character is this race, this character is this race, this character is fucking this person, who's fucking this person, who's fucking this... If that is the only thing you're focused on in a game, you're not making a good game, you're making propaganda. And I'm sorry, but most gamers don't like propaganda.
I don't think anybody... Well, no, I can say that.
Aha! I was going to say, people like Kim Jong-un love propaganda.
No, like...
So do a
there
lot
are
of
certain
extremists from any...
Can't you go a bit? I'll make it do not disturb the enlightened and the spire.
Cool, if he's still actually up there, I'm gonna murder this fucker. Like, yep. Fuck this game. Went to a completely different map. I'm going to now go in and save, quit, and restart the game. If that doesn't fix it, I'm done with this quest line. I will abandon it, never touch it again. Because at that point, I'm counting it as bugged.
Out of my way, filthy!
Watch where you're going. The lower part of the city doesn't...
But yeah, hey Burb.
Yes.
Learning experience, even if it is point and laugh, more than likely it's going to lead topics that weren't intended. Especially when it's something that is currently heavily politically and culturally charged. Also, for those of you who didn't get the full like rant and wanted TLDR, putting culture and, you know, what have you, like, cultural knowledge into a game, that's fine, that's good. Forcing it and making it the central focus of a game while ignoring the gameplay, if you do that as a developer and then turn around and bitch at the people who you are trying to get to buy your game...
Hey, Kit, I have another idea for you, actually, before you give up the quest completely. I'm sorry, Kit, my brain did not brain properly.
No, it really didn't.
I am so sorry.
Stop. Stop apologizing. Start learning from it instead.
Okay.
There's only so many times that I can hear I'm sorry on something. Like, by the way, it's not that you brought up that topic that I'm annoyed. You know that, right? I don't mind. That's a topic I don't mind talking about. It's just it's going to lead to a rant. You do know what's got me stressed. Yes or no?
Kinda yes, kinda no. I'm just apologizing for interrupting you.
Which you've done 3 times in order to try and force a change of topic. You interrupted a topic because one thing or another either weren't paying attention or what have you, and immediately switched from one topic to another, which you can't do with my brain because that causes stress for me. That is effectively you saying, what I want to talk about is more important, shut the fuck up. Understand, me having to redirect to that makes me think it's the same thing and opposite, and I can't do that. Like, it is just not that. I do not tend to do that as a person, or at least I try not to. But what irks the fuck out of me is interrupt, be told you've interrupted, apologize, interrupt again, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. I don't want to hear sorry after so many times. I want to, you know, I want it to not happen. Only so many times I can hear sorry before it feels like it's a trope, not an actual thing. Oh?
Yes.
By the way, sorry if it feels like I'm scolding you, but I mean, to some degree I am.
It's deserved.
Yeah. In the moment, yeah, kind of. I will say, though, now that my brain has been thoroughly fucking off-tracked, and I've onto a topic that much shorter and much simpler to explain, what were you gonna say?
I looked up a video for the quest.
Yeah.
Watch where you're going.
One of the things was after you find the first line, you talk to the guy again. Then you do the whole leave and come back.
Who, the sketchy fucker?
Yes.
So you have to talk to him twice.
Hello.
That's
Please,
what I saw. Yes.
don't sell me out to the vendor.
Nope. By the way, specifically, you talk to the sketchy person or the vendor?
Talk to the. I think you may need to talk to the vendor too, saying you know who stole the apples. I'll go check the video again. Give me a second.
Cool. So instead of that, I'm checking my video now.
Okay.
Because 100%, you chose to, when I told you no, force the thing anyway, and now we've been sidetracked for half a fucking hour. Initially with me trying to do a fix that you said would work, and it didn't do jack shit.
That.
So I have actually had a guide that will walk you through where each and every one of them is. queued up ever since I took a piss. It is in and of itself 3 minutes long, and it starts, like, the actual guide starts at 47 seconds. So it's less than 2 minutes. Or less than 3 minutes long. If I find another apple using this guide in under, like, 5 minutes, understand the level of pissed I'm going to be. Like, 100%, it will be a, I don't touch this game again. That's not the location of the apples. Go fucking eat your own ass, bitch fuckle. Cool. Mark against this game and its developers, it's a highly pedantic bullshit questline.
He is still in the upper city, near that balcony overlooking the plaza.
That cursed thief. Why didn't you bring him here?
He said you were regularly throwing food away. If you have this kind of luxury, why don't you give it out for free?
Give out? Ridiculous. How fair would that be for the paying customers?
Better than throwing things out. And you'd be helping people.
I guess that's true. Yeah. Anyway, the guards will hunt him down, and then I will squeeze every single tribute out of him. And you? If you bring me back enough apples, I can reopen shop. And as a bonus, I might have a little reward for you. How's that?
Yes. Here are some of your apples.
Oh, they still look edible. You saved my business, traveler.
So, in sequence, what I learned from that 3-minute video, you're required to go back and do the interaction I just did.
Hello there.
I'll give you this.
No, you guys can't see shit.
Skip cities before it's too late.
Oh, no. You ratted me out.
You know
After I gave you the
just
map.
because.
I will...
What you talking about, Nexus? I mean, my blood pressure's been raised through the roof throughout a good chunk of the stream. maybe not through the roof, but my blood pressure has been up for a good chunk of the stream because I get really tired of, like, forced subject changes, or I'll look something up for you. I can look it up myself. No, I did it anyways. Leading to nearly a half hour of 100%. It is the same problem I have with assumptions. And I need to point out, even if you think you're helping, if you assume, you're still an asshole in that moment. No offense meant, Burb. It's one of those... assuming anything makes an asshole out of both of us.
Don't worry about it, I feel like an asshole.
Hey, Burb. Numb.
Uses a nuggie to poop your snoot.
I mean... Speaking of asshole, though, or assholes, though, I'm fairly certain there's an otter that wouldn't mind playing with yours, so... Nom beep!
BLFC next year.
Possibly. Don't rush those kind of things, but at the same time, I mean, if you want to.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm planning to go next year, even if I don't speak, even if he isn't there.
Delint, what have you missed? Somebody taking a scolding the right way, and a scolding done probably a little bit more, you know, wordy than should be, but, eh. Beyond that, not much. What's up?
You just sounded like my dad the entire time.
How?
That's the same. No, that's the same way he'd give me the same lectures growing up. So it's like I'm very familiar with them.
Well, good. It's one of those. I strive to try to stay calm. The fact that you were being quiet and accepting what was being said, you notice I didn't necessarily lose my cool at you for any real reason other than, well, actually at all. I got stressed, yes, but at the same time, I'm not sitting here having to yell at you. To me, that is a conflict done right, because I can remain calm, you're willing to listen and understand what's being said rather than sit and endlessly go, I know, but... In other words, you pull a U rather than pulling an Adam. Always pull a U.
This is the upper city. Do not loiter here. Rather, leave.
Because, as I said in the Discord later, one of the reasons I get stressed isn't because, like, a inconvenience or an issue happens. It is entirely because I know the people involved 9 times out of 10 when it happens. And it pisses me off because I know that people I know are much better than that. Good example. Best example at this point, Burb, would be you, because you know that it stresses me the hell out when my friends don't listen, or the people I am dealing with don't listen. Mostly because it feels like I would be talking to a brick wall. Opening ears? Yay! Almost always keeps me calm. I'm fairly certain it's the same with you, too, because I know you disconnect when you are being yelled at. Like, full on, you disconnect.
You've told me.
You've told me
my
that
brain doesn't. my brain goes into flight mode immediately.
Yeah. It's one of those, you either leave that situation very quickly, or it's you clock out mentally. You've told me a couple times, like, in the past, where as a kid, you clocked out mentally because somebody tried to scold you. Or, like, some of the times you just straight up clocked out and stopped giving a fuck at work because, you know, people above you in the station being complete dick nuggets. I'm kind of the same way. Except for me, it's less, you know, people being douche and more, you know, 100% you're a better person than this, you've proven that. Please stop. Because, again, 9 times out of 10, I know there are some people that'll say I'm a ranting, raving fucking lunatic and that I scream at everybody around me. I do that as, if I'm yelling, it's a failure on not just my part. It's a big failure on my part. It usually means there was a failure on other people's part too. Because, I 100% understand I have issues. If it comes to I am straight up yelling or having to be in any way aggressive, there's been a problem that was either done intentionally and shouldn't have, or something that was done in error and then somebody became overly defensive because it was. Kinda same. It's one of the reasons why I'm, like, sitting here rather than, like, sitting up there, because 100%, like, I like the melody they play in this game. Anyways, hey, Nexus, are you home yet, or no? And just in case you are sending me a thing.
Hey, Kit.
What's up?
The Nuggies are gonna hunt down the Nexus.
So, in Soviet Russia, chicken noms you. God, now all I can think of is a bunch of Nuggies in those little, like, fuzzy little fuzzy ear flip hat things. Walking up, tackling somebody, just off nom nom nom. Oh, well.
That sounds adorable.
Kinda, yeah. I mean, I've got to see if it's at the, I've got to see if it's at the actual thing, or at BLFC next year. There is a room party that I know is they go to FC that's really, really fun, and if they go to BLFC, I need to take you to it.
You know what I just imagined alongside that picture, alongside those Nuggies with those hats?
What's up?
Bottles of buffalo sauce and ranch.
No, that would be strapped to their backs.
That's what they find you. They put the buffalo sauce and ranch on you, then they start nomming you.
That's not much different than somebody dousing you in ranch, though.
I don't like ranch.
I'm aware, but still.
It doesn't taste like anything.
That's only because you can't taste it. Like, actual ranch, homemade ranch. If you want, I can actually, since I know the scale on what you can taste, I could whip up the next time we were at a con. I could whip up a ranch that you'd actually be able to taste. Understand, anybody else who eats it would probably throw up. But you'd be able to at very least taste what it's like. Rather than the typical ranch, which is cream-based and very subtle. which, if you can't smell or can't taste or what have you, just becomes like cream. Like it's effectively like putting heavy cream on your salad.
Or like my sister does on her pizza.
Did you find the thief already?
He is still in the upper city, near that balcony overlooking the plaza.
That cursed thief. Why didn't you bring him here?
He said you were regularly throwing food away. If you have this kind of
on,
luxury, why don't you give it out for free?
Give out? Ridiculous. How fair would that be for the paying customers?
Better than throwing things out. And you'd be helping people.
I guess that's true. Anyway, the guards will hunt him down, and then I will squeeze every single tribute out of him. And you? If you bring me back enough apples, I can reopen shop. And as a bonus, I might have a little reward for you. How's that?
Sorry, not right now.
So I want to see something. Because 100%, I want to see if the, and this is going to be me saves coming, yes. I want to see...
I just noticed something, Kid, as well.
What?
The money is called tributes.
Yes. You just noticed this?
Yes.
It's been mentioned in stream a couple dozen times. I even mentioned it at the start of the thing. When I first noticed it, I mentioned, oh crap, the currency is called tribute. Well, that's fucked up. Like in the 4th stream. Actually, wait, you weren't there for the 4th stream, were you?
No.
God, why was my brain thinking you've been... I swear to God, for some reason I thought you've been, like, watching since the first part of this, and I just remembered that you'd come in, like... Majority of it, you've been here for, like, a week. On and off.
I've been trying to... My body's like, you're going to go to sleep.
Yeah,
like,
you've been falling asleep super early. Like, in comparison to when you normally do, you've been falling asleep a lot, really early. Anyways, since I have less than half an hour left, I want to be able to complete at very least this one thing. So, can I...
Gonna mute myself.
Thank you.
Oh no, can you?
I mean, if I keep getting interrupted, no. That was kind of the point of me vocalizing that.
Sorry, that's just me being me.
Yes, and it's one of those ever so slight point of annoyance, because if you haven't noticed, every time I start talking, shit comes to a screeching halt. That's part of the OCD.
Oh, I'll leave you to it.
Thank you. Because it's one of those... You remember me telling you the reason I stay quiet more often than not is to allow other people to speak? Same concept when somebody starts a conversation. It's also one of the reasons why I sometimes get overwhelmed with chat. It's because in my head, if somebody else is talking or wanting to talk, I can't do anything dialogue-based without shushing them, which, in my head... My brain puts a negative spin on everything, so me saying hush for a minute, in my head is me going, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it just blows it out of proportion. Well, I'm doing my own thing, so do what you need to do.
Thank you. Anyways, on to dialogue, because I want to see if you can finish this quest without, like, with a lie.
I couldn't find him. He probably skipped town.
You couldn't find him? What do I do now? I lost wares for an entire week of sales. I am ruined.
No. So, that's the thing. I can understand thievery if there is a required, like, I can understand stealing an apple to eat. I can understand that. But this is just a everybody is in the wrong kind of thing. Because, yeah, I can understand justifying, like, an apple. This dude stole 10 of them. And then dropped so many of them leaving. At the same time, I can't lie to this guy because again, it takes away the option to give back the apples. And that's not right. In a situation where everyone is effectively the asshole in this, I am looking for the least fucked up outcome. And in all reality, it doesn't matter if you're like me, a nameless that is considered below everything. Theft is still theft. I could understand if you are starving the one apple, but at the same time, if I am in a, and I've actually done this in real life, if I am in a situation where I see somebody about to steal something, and I know for certain that person more than likely has no way of actually paying for it, I'll pay for them. If I have the means, I would rather they have what is needed than have to worry about, I might go to jail for stealing something that, like, was required for me to survive. Now, if, for example, it's somebody who's sitting there trying to steal fucking 3 hams from a grocery store by shoving them in their pants and thinking that's not necessity. That's just blatant. So I can justify 1 or 2 apples.
Did you find the thief already?
10? Sorry, that's more like you got a bunch of hams in your pants.
He is still in the upper city, near that balcony overlooking the plaza.
That cursed thief. Why didn't you bring him here?
He said you were regularly throwing food away. If you have this kind of luxury, why don't you give it out for free?
Give out? Ridiculous. How fair would that be for the paying customers?
Better than throwing things out. And you'd be helping people.
I guess that's true. Anyway, the guards will hunt him down, and then I will squeeze every single tribute out of him. And you? If you bring me back enough apples, I can reopen shop. And as a bonus, I might have a little reward for you. How's that?
Yes. Here are some of your apples.
Oh, they still look edible. You saved my business, traveler.
So that's actually one of the things I hate about games like, or game mechanic concepts like this. You can save scum, which is the entire reason why I looked into that quest the way I did, instead of taking my original choice, like, as default, because it makes me question my original choice. By the way...
Hello there. I'll give you this. Skip cities.
This is all deserved.
Before it's too late.
Oh, no! You ratted me out after I gave you the map. Thanks for nothing. Seeing your face more out at the city gates made me hopeful things would change. But you are just one of them, after all.
No. I'm not like them and I'm not like you. Because, understand, I would steal to survive, not steal for luxury. If you see somebody throwing something like that out, wait for them to throw it in the gutter. Wash it. Don't steal what they can sell. Better to be a scavenger than a thief.
Mm-hmm.
Did you happen to find any of the stolen apples in the end?
Sorry, not right now. I will be back.
By the way, dialogue is pretty much over for the moment.
Oh?
Yeah, now I need to travel to a completely different area, then travel back in the bullshit issue of, you know, tedium from this game.
Gotta love that in games. I'm sorry, that's the most annoying thing in my opinion.
It's more or less like them gatekeeping the last apple behind a really weird.
It's not even really that weird, realistically. It's just tedious. Because it's one of those, the requirement of this was talk to one person, talk to another, collect all apples. If you did this in order without leaving town, leave to a different map, go back to town, go to where the second NPC was sitting, pick up the apple, bring it to the first NPC. Whereas I chose find the apples, first 9, 10 required. Cool. Find thief. Cool. Choose to rat thief out. This is feeling railroady. Go out of town. This is feeling really railroady. Go to a completely different fuck-off area and explore a little bit, then come back. This is feeling too railroady. Go back to where NPC 2 was sitting. Find the last apple to end the quest. This is really fucking railroady. In a game that is supposed to be open world, please don't create super fucking structured things like this for no better reason than just to piss off your fucking players. Because this is needlessly complex in an area that is not even... I think this area is the halfway mark. And understand, a side quest that had me running around looking for something that effectively doesn't exist until you go throughout the absolute bullshit tedium that it requires. Yeah. If a average player cannot figure it out, the quest is too tedious, you have analyzed and overdone this quest. If it is a side quest, understand. Hey, Nexus. Here's a concept for you. How tedious and unplayable would D&D be if, for the sake of leveling up, you had to go through a side quest and you were not told where to go? Ever. Like, DM completely non-present, you have to go through a thing entirely on your own.
Yeah, I'd lose my shit.
Most people would. I literally spent the better half of an hour searching for this last apple. That required you to talk to him to start the quest, talk to him up there to do a thing, and give you a moral choice. Turn in a thief or not. Come down here, choose the moral choice to turn him in. Required to end the quest.
Oh, sweet lord.
Go get all of the apples. There's only gonna be 9 there. Neither one of you tells the other one shit. Not a single one specifies you need to leave the area. Next requirement. Leave the fucking area! And not just like the city. Because I can leave the town and go all the way fucking down here if I wanted to. No, I have to go to one of the maps that I've already been to. Outside of this entire game map right here. Then travel back. Then go to the guy that you ratted out. Take the final apple that only appears when he's gone, and bring it back down to this guy for this dialogue.
You're back. Did you happen to find any of the stolen apples in the end?
Yes. Here are some of your apples.
Fuck that.
Thank you. I'm almost back to full stock, and that thief, he... This is the last time he'll hurt my business. You seem to be a good business partner. Why don't you have a look at my wares?
No. On principle, I'm not buying anything from you, dude. 100% on principle, I'm not buying anything.
Fire. The essence blessing
Don't
is
care.
underway.
100% really don't.
My goodness. Gauntlet bearer, please, listen a moment.
How can I help?
There are rumors that you were, that you are unnamed.
I am not ashamed of my background.
Nor should you be. My name is Catherine. I help wayward unnamed on their way to freedom. But two of my new friends have disappeared. Dusty and Drag. I'm so worried. You have to help me find them.
Where are they?
Where might they have gone?
One of my other friends thought he saw Dusty on the old trade route. There is a forest. The two were inseparable. If Rag is there, Dusty will be close behind.
I will try my best to find your friend.
Everybody has to pay their
Why is it, by the way... Well, actually, no, I know exactly why it is. That this entire fucking area of this game makes me feel filthy. But Jesus fucking Christ.
Out of my way, filthy unnamed.
Watch where you're going. The lower part of the city doesn't have...
Did they change that or some shit?
Oh my god. Hey, Burb.
Yes.
Snuggle face.
Eep.
Today has been a weird stream. Also, since I know a lot of people are heading to bed at the moment. Night, everybody. No.
With a lot of apples.
Yeah, with a lot of apples in the hands of assholes, and I don't necessarily just mean the thief. Like, I don't care what you think, what you say, who you are. I'm giving my opinion on that entire thing. Everyone's an asshole in that situation. Doesn't matter. The thief taking more than what is needed to survive, you're an asshole. The merchant fucking offering, or not offering, the merchant like throwing shit out that could be given to those less fortunate, asshole. The thief because you tried to give me something of value that you could have used to sell, to get the money to purchase the apples, asshole. Instead of being ratted out, mind you. Or the fact that even after getting all of your shit back, you still opt to try to effectively have a man beaten and then robbed just to be able to get more money. Yeah. Everyone is an asshole multiple times over in that fucking entire situation. And it's just, good. That entire quest made me feel dirty. And it felt a little bit like being Marilyn Monroe at a Marilyn Manson concert. Anyways, good night, Robert. Good night, Ramon. Good night, Aiden. Good night, everybody. Good night, Johnson. And I think this is where we're going to leave off. So let's do this right, shall we? Folks, this is where we're going to leave off. So, if you enjoy the gameplay or the commentary, give us a like. If you want to keep up with this or any of our other content, hit subscribe and ring the bell. Become part of our notification squad so you can see when we upload and when we go live. But for now, this is Kitthesoulless and Crew signing off. So until next time, everybody, bye-bye! Nom.
Bye-bye, everybody.
The Nuggies say good night.
I mean, all I can say to that is to each nugget, nom.
Oh, hey, Nexus.
Individual beat noms.
In Soviet Russia, Nuggies nom you.